Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal, a content marketing strategist, travel blogger, and author. And today I'm going to be talking about how much my side hustle made in 2025 and how I'm turning $7,500 into $30K in 2026. So bear with me today. I've been sick for probably almost a week now with like this weird head cold thing that's been going around. And so I feel like I sound very nasally, and I probably do. So kind of like think of it as if you've ever watched the show Friends with Phoebe when she was sick and she proceeded to sing Smelly Cat. That's what I'm doing here for you guys today, just so you can hear me. 2025 was the year of some really major shifts in my business. I've been running my marketing business full time since 2019, and honestly, I just haven't looked back. I love working for myself. And alongside that, like I've always had these side projects, even when I wasn't working for myself and I was working for other people, like I always was working on something for myself, and that was my travel blog, Dates in the States. So in 2025, last year, it's 2026 now, but Dates in the States like finally became that side hustle that I always hoped it would be. So for those of you who are new here, Dates in the States is my travel blog, my baby. All started in 2014 when my now husband and we traveled across the US in 5 weeks in my Mustang. So we took this road trip for 5 weeks in this small car, and it was just life-changing. And I started blogging on that trip, telling people, where we were going. Basically, it was my diary, right? And then after that 5-week road trip, I just kept blogging. I didn't want to stop. So I've been doing that since 2014. So today I'm here to share exactly how much Dates in the States made in 2025, how I evolved it from being just a travel blog into a tangible product, and what I'm doing to turn this side hustle into like an actual business, like full-time income in 2026. So like I said, I began my travel blog back in 2014 and my marketing business in 2019. Travel and storytelling has always been a part of my life. Like I've always really enjoyed writing. So that's why I enjoyed writing for this blog so much. But over time, like running my marketing business, that client workload that I've had really took priority because it was the thing that was making me enough money so I could live and still travel. And by 2023, I decided I was sick and tired of like just sitting at home all the time working on other people's work. Like I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love my client work. I love working on things for other people, but I just needed that creative outlet just for me, if that makes sense. So in 2023, I decided I was going to sell houseplants at farmers markets. Like I love houseplants and it just seems like something fun to do. I saw someone doing it in Florida when I was visiting there, where she was just propagating her houseplants and selling them at farmers markets in fancy little jars and stuff. And I was like, I can do that. So I did. It was fun, but the income was so limited. Like to be honest, in a good year, that side hustle made around like $1,200 total. That's not even including my expenses. Okay. Which $1,200 is like pennies looking back at it now. Like I was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like I am making a profit. But it was so much work for so little return. So in 2024, I realized, you know what? I really miss my travel blog. Like I haven't been putting a lot of effort into it like I used to. I've kind of just put it on the back burner and I wanted to bring it back. So my marketing business was already using like most of my creative energy, but then I had a realization, like what if this travel blog could actually generate income, like more than the houseplants? But in order to do that, I felt like, with Google's changes and everything, like what I've talked about in previous years, like the algorithm, Google doesn't favor travel blogs anymore. So I really haven't been getting that kind of traffic to even make income from ads and stuff like maybe I once did. Like I need a tangible product, right? And I was already going to these farmers markets and vendor markets selling houseplants. So maybe I could create something that I could also sell at these markets, because you pay to be at these markets well ahead of time. So like the end of 2024, I still had markets to do, even though I didn't really want to do houseplants anymore. So I was like, okay, I need a tangible product. Sorry, that was long-winded, but I just wanted to give you some background. Like, that's when these books that I started creating, that's when these were born. So these books were pulled from my blog posts, like super simple, right? Like on my blog, Dates in the States, I share entire dates in different places. Usually I'll focus on like one business or one town. And I was like, what if I just like made these date books? Like I could basically structure it. Like I already have all these blog posts. I can put them together and structure like a whole date in a day in a city. And it was like, boom. I had all these ideas, all these amazing ideas. So, for example, like the book would start with going somewhere for breakfast, taking a walk at a nearby park, doing a fun activity you may have never thought of doing in your neighborhood, and then ending with dinner and a nightcap. Like I already have all that written out. Why not smash it together, right? So I started with a very basic handmade mystery date books, I called them. So they were literally stapled pages, tied with string, wrapped in paper to feel fun and mysterious. Nothing fancy, just an idea that I brought to life and I wanted to see what happened. I sold my very first batch at one of the last farmers markets I attended, and I almost sold out. I even had people asking me for my autograph in the books. And I was like, this is so bizarre. Like, I never thought people would be that interested in them. So that moment, that realization, that market, like literally changed everything. I stopped selling plants. I shifted my focus entirely and decided to see what would happen if I actually committed to the idea of these books. And that's what happened in 2025. 2025 became the year Dates in the States officially turned into a real side hustle. I finally trademarked my name. I should have done that back in 2014, but I finally did it. I made Dates in the States into an LLC. I copyrighted each book by registering it with an ISBN number, and that was a learning experience in and of itself. So if you haven't watched my previous videos about how to get your books into stores like Barnes & Noble, like check them out because I have learned firsthand, and I'm giving that information to you so you don't have to like go struggling and talking to a whole bunch of different people like I had to. Because there really isn't that much information online that's like understandable for beginners like us. Like if you have an agent or something, like you're really well off. But if you're trying to do things by yourself, information is like very limited, to try and figure out, okay, how do I get these books into stores? How do I get them into bigger markets like Barnes & Noble and Walmart and all these other things? And that was like one of my journeys in 2025. That's a whole other video. And so in 2025, instead of doing these farmers markets like I was doing for the plants, I started attending book fairs, vendor markets, like holiday markets and things like that. Pop-up booths, like I was having pop-up booths at some stores that my books were selling at, and doing book signings. Like Barnes & Noble actually had us come in for a book signing. So I was putting all of my effort in 2025 into things like that so I could be front-facing in the public. I sold out at my first official book fair, which told me I was seriously onto something. So like throughout 2025, like I said, I got my books into local bookstores. I landed placements in Barnes & Noble. I partnered with local businesses for sponsorships, and I continued refining the books and my process, which I'm still doing today. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And while my marketing business remained my full-time income, Dates in the States has become like my creative side project. So I know why you're here. You want to hear numbers. So let's talk numbers because transparency matters, right? So by the end of 2025, Dates in the States made $7,500. To put that into perspective, my previous side hustle selling houseplants made about $1,200 in a good year. And this side hustle has made me like 6 times more than that. So I'm pretty happy about it. I know it might not sound like a lot of money to a lot of people, but it was pretty good for me. And for something that started as like this creative experiment, $7,500 really feels like a huge win to me. And obviously, I want to keep that going. I want to keep growing. Here's how I'm planning to grow Dates in the States in 2026. So first, affiliate income. I want to add more affiliate partners tied directly to the dates, like restaurants, experiences, travel tools, local businesses, purchases. Like, for example, at the end of 2025, we partnered with a ghost tour company in Orlando that made us affiliates for their business. So we actually got a lot of our family members to attend this ghost tour with us, all signing up under that affiliate link. So that's going to be a nice paycheck in the first quarter of 2026. And I want to find more opportunities like that. So number 2 is growing my YouTube channels. YouTube, I want it to become this core driver. I have a YouTube channel for Dates in the States and another one for my marketing business. It will be a lot to run those 2 channels. I get that, but I plan to kind of integrate the content when applicable, like sharing behind the scenes of building this business, like what I'm doing right now, travel and date inspiration, linking back to my shop, those affiliates, and basically the partners. So number 3 is finding higher paying sponsorships. So in 2025, sponsorships, like they were around $150 per book, which was very, very low, but I was new and I knew a lot of people didn't know what these books were. And so I didn't think that people would pay high sponsorship rates. So I was just running with $150 per book just to see what would happen. And I did get sponsorship. So in 2026, I want to increase those rates by like a few $100s to better reflect reach and value, because now they've been established for this period of time. They've gotten into places, like Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com. So even if I do find the same amount of partnerships I did in 2025, I'll be making more money because I raised my rates, right? I think overall I had 5 sponsorships. So if I can find more now that I have a better system in place, like I'm going to be really well off. And then number 4 is more wholesale, less commission. So I'm focusing on getting the books into more stores, yes, but through wholesale purchases, not necessarily commission-based setups. So I can improve that cash flow and consistency. So like in 2025, I was literally finding whatever opportunities I could get, which meant a lot of commission-based setups. Like I was finding stores, like I put books in stores probably in the spring of 2025, and there's some books that are still sitting in those same stores right now in January 2026. So, if you think about it, like that's a lot of your money that's held up in a place that may or may not sell. And that's what commission-based setups, like that's the downfall of it. So it's been like a lot of money up front to order and print those books, the time sitting in those stores, and then making half the amount I would have if I sold it on my website or in person or wholesale. So you see what I mean? Like I want to find more wholesale, less commission opportunities for those reasons. So let's be honest, Dates in the States will always be my side hustle. I know that now. I never want to let it go. I love my travel blog, my travel business, and it's proof that creative ideas can turn into real income when you treat them like a real business. And so if you're sitting on an idea you keep putting off, let this be your sign, okay? Start small, test it, give it room to grow. You don't need a massive audience, you just need momentum. And I hope this video inspires you to do that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please tap the like and subscribe buttons. I am going to try being the keyword, to upload a new video every single week in 2026. That is my New Year's resolution. And be sure to not only subscribe to my marketing channel that you're on right now, but go search Dates in the States and subscribe to me there. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.